When you saw your sister insinuated,
Okay,
she didn't say it, but she insinuated that you had something to do with Ronny Doe, his death.
It's like a punch, a grab. Like she probably her.
The internet wasn't ready, not even close, when whispers suddenly leaked claiming that Chrisean Rock's entire Ronny Doe plan didn't just crack. It allegedly exploded into chaos straight in front of law enforcement. And when police chimed in with their version of events, oh, baby, this drama didn't escalate. It skyrocketed. We're talking plot twists so messy they make the Zeus network look like PBS Kids. Reports flew across social media like flaming debris, each one more dramatic than the last. The plan went sideways. Police weren't buying it. The situation wasn't meant to unfold this way. Every update sounded like the trailer of a movie Chrisean never auditioned for. And the wildest part, the story kept mutating every 5 minutes. 1 minute it was confusion, next it was chaos. Then suddenly it was a full-blown digital earthquake shaking all corners of the timeline. People sprinted online like detectives chasing the truth, screen recording lives, breaking down captions, zooming into expressions, and typing paragraphs like they were writing dissertations. Every detail felt like a breadcrumb, every whisper felt like a clue, and every emotion from Chrisean felt like a warning flare. Because if what police allegedly claimed is even half true, then Chrisean's Ronny Doe storyline didn't just hit a pothole. It drove off a cliff. The moment the first report dropped claiming that police had a different version of Chrisean Rock's Ronny Doe situation, the entire internet froze like Wi-Fi in a thunderstorm. People didn't blink. People didn't breathe. They zoomed into the screenshots and voice notes like they were decoding CIA documents. And when users saw the phrase "plan went completely sideways," the timeline combusted in unison. It felt like every gossip page suddenly got a burst of electricity and sprinted to type captions before their fingers cooled down. According to the early whispers, Chrisean allegedly had a plan, a strategy, a move, an approach tied to the Ronny Doe situation that she believed would put her in the right, protect her storyline, or at least bring clarity. But police allegedly said the opposite. They claimed the whole thing spiraled so fast it wasn't meant to be, leaving chaos, confusion, and unanswered questions scattered everywhere like broken glass. And just like that, the public went from watching casually to grabbing popcorn with both hands. People flooded the comments yelling, "WHAD plan? What went wrong? Who messed up?" Nobody knew anything. Everyone pretended to know everything. And the bloggers? Oh, they were feasting. They were posting clips, half-facts, emojis, and reaction memes at Olympic speed. Some of them didn't even understand the story, they were just typing chili and letting the algorithm do the rest. Meanwhile, fans turned into deep-diving investigators. They pulled up old lives, interviews, IG stories, and shady tweets that had nothing to do with the current drama, attaching red arrows and circles like they were solving a murder mystery. Someone posted a timeline with 17 bullet points, none of which were confirmed, all of which were dramatic. Another dug up a clip from months ago where Chrisean sighed loudly, captioning it, "She'd been stressed about Ronny." The internet is an unpredictable beast, but as theories multiplied, so did the emotional reactions. Some supporters swore Chrisean had good intentions. They insisted she was protecting something or someone important. They said the alleged plan going sideways didn't mean she did anything wrong, just that life happened. Others were harsher, saying she should have handled things differently, stayed quiet, or moved smarter. A few people blamed outside influences. A few blamed Blueface. And a few blamed the entire universe. The tension climbed even higher when one blogger dropped the line, "Police say the plan broke down on arrival." That sentence alone sent shockwaves everywhere. Viewers demanded clarification. Did it break down because of timing? Because of communication? Because of misunderstanding? Was the alleged plan never realistic to begin with? People were throwing questions like confetti, hoping anyone would answer. But nobody could. Not police, not fans, not bloggers, not even Chrisean. Then, of course, the internet started exaggerating because the internet is allergic to calmness. Some users said the entire thing looked like a setup. Others said sabotage. Others said miscommunication. Others said it was destiny. TikTok creators stitched dramatic videos with conspiracy music, pointing at their screens with acrylics like they discovered the Da Vinci Code. And for the first time ever, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram were collectively confused but aggressively invested. Then clips of Chrisean surfaced emotional, drained, overwhelmed, pacing, breathing heavy. People tried to read her face like it was a legally binding document. Some said she looked scared. Others said she looked angry. Others said heartbroken. A few said exhausted. The truth? Nobody knew. But if there's one thing the internet loves, it's pretending to be experts in emotions they've never personally experienced. Around this time, the police angle became the center of the storyline. Blogs posted things like, "Authorities say details didn't line up and officials claim narrative collapsed mid-process." Each headline made the situation look like a plot twist on a dark crime show. Even people who never cared about Ronny Doe suddenly needed updates like their paycheck depended on it. Everyone wanted answers and Chrisean wasn't giving any. Support for her began to split. Half the crowd defended her with warrior-like passion. They said she was doing what she believed was right. They said she was overwhelmed. They said she was battling things privately. The other half started questioning the choices made along the way, asking why things were handled this way, why certain people were involved, and why the situation escalated under police supervision. And because nobody had the full details, the arguments only got louder. As the tension climbed, people started pointing fingers at Bino, Blueface, Hazley, and even random individuals who had nothing to do with anything. Users created suspect lists like they were casting a movie. They said someone fed police the narrative, someone miscommunicated, someone stirred the pot, someone misunderstood instructions. It turned into a dramatic blame-shifting festival with no referee. But then came the most viral moment, a voice clip allegedly quoting an officer saying, "It wasn't meant to play out like this." That one line hit the internet so hard it created emotional whiplash. People blasted it across social media like a breaking news alert. They treated it like the missing puzzle piece, even though it raised more questions than answers. It fueled 1,000 theories and extinguished none. As the dust began to rise, you could see the emotional transformation on Chrisean's face in later clips. She looked more stressed, more defensive, more heartbroken. It didn't matter whether any alleged plan was real, exaggerated, or misunderstood. She felt the pressure of the situation, the public, the narrative, and the noise. And no matter where you stood, you could sense she wasn't playing a character. She was surviving a storm, and that storm was only beginning, because once celebrities, influencers, and public voices grabbed the story, things escalated from messy to catastrophic. It was no longer about what allegedly happened. It was about what everyone thought happened. And that's always where the real disaster begins. The escalation happened faster than anyone could blink. 1 second the internet was asking basic questions, and the next it erupted into a full social media wildfire with everyone suddenly acting like they personally witnessed the Ronny Doe situation unfold. Influencers who were eating breakfast dropped their forks and started reacting. Twitter activists turned their profiles into breaking news headquarters. Even verified trolls came out of retirement to throw shade. The energy was unhinged, uncontrollable, and absolutely delicious for the drama ecosystem. The memes hit like missiles. Someone edited Chrisean in a Mission Impossible scene, dangling from a building with the caption, "When your alleged plan goes sideways and the cops narrate it." Another made a Scooby-Doo clip where the gang ripped off a mask saying the plan never planned. TikTok creators reenacted the alleged police reaction using toy cars, flashlights, and random objects as props. And because the internet has no chill, one meme said, "This wasn't meant to be," next to a picture of a broken IKEA manual. Chaos had officially been crowned king. Then the celebrities chimed in because celebrities love reacting to drama they're not involved in. A rapper posted, "Never underestimate karma." An influencer wrote, "When you force things, they collapse." A B-list reality star tweeted, "Some folks gotta move smarter." None of them mentioned Chrisean. None of them mentioned Ronny Doe. But the internet took these random quotes and attached them to the storyline like duct tape on a collapsing wall. People commented under each post saying, "Oh, they talking about her," even though they definitely were not. Suddenly, YouTubers and commentary creators started uploading reaction videos with titles like, "The real story behind Chrisean's plan, what the police meant by sideways. The truth they're not telling you." These creators spoke with confidence, charisma, and absolutely zero facts. They made assumptions sound like evidence and personal opinions sound like official reports. Viewers loved it. Their videos exploded because people don't want clarity, they want entertainment. And Chrisean's situation was serving pure, high-calorie drama. Meanwhile, Blueface popped up with his favorite hobby, adding confusion to an already burning situation. He posted a smirking selfie captioned, "Everything reveals itself eventually." That alone was enough to make the internet faint. The comments instantly divided into three camps, one saying he was shading Chrisean, another saying he was shading the cops, and a third saying he was shading absolutely no one and just being a menace. Blueface's cryptic behavior fueled more chaos than any confirmed update ever could. Then came the TikTok detectives, the final stage of online delusion. They slowed down clips of Chrisean breathing, zoomed into her eyelashes, and tried to interpret her body language like they held degrees from Harvard's Department of Emotional Analysis. One creator claimed, based on her eye movement, she wasn't expecting the plan to go sideways this fast. Another said, her tone suggests betrayal, while a third confidently declared she knew something was coming. None of this was logical. Every bit of it went viral, and out of nowhere, old interviews resurfaced. Clips of Chrisean talking about stress, responsibility, or trust got recirculated as proof that she allegedly had doubts about the Ronny Doe situation long before police gave their interpretation. Fans acted like these unrelated moments were clues in a treasure hunt. Users commented, "She been new," and "She been struggling," and this explains everything. Even though nothing had been explained at all, the police angle became the centerpiece of every discussion. Bloggers kept reposting alleged statements like, "The situation did not go as she intended," and "Her plan collapsed mid-process." Each repost made the situation sound more dramatic, more dangerous, and more cinematic. Even people who never tuned into Chrisean drama before were suddenly invested, asking, "Wait, what plan? And what fell apart?" The intrigue sucked everyone in. Supporters of Chrisean tried calming the storm by saying she was misunderstood, overwhelmed, or misrepresented. They wrote essays defending her character, her intentions, and her emotional state. They argued with strangers for hours. The opposition fought back just as aggressively, quoting the alleged police comments like they were scripture. Whole arguments broke out over voice notes that weren't even verified. The internet had officially turned into a courtroom with no rules. As emotions heightened, some people blamed the environment around her. They said pressure from fame, the turbulence with Blueface, motherhood, and public attention might have influenced her choices. Others said outside voices sabotaged the situation. Others said she didn't get solid advice. And others, of course, insisted she simply made poor decisions. With every opinion, the debate expanded. But then came the twist. Nobody expected a clip of an officer allegedly saying, "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." That clip became the internet's new obsession. People played it on loop, analyzed the tone, the pacing, even the background noise. They used it as the foundation for 100 new theories. Some said the officer meant the event escalated unexpectedly. Others said it meant a procedural mistake occurred. Others said it meant Chrisean misunderstood instructions. And because nobody had the full context, every theory felt equally possible and equally dramatic. This quote became a trending sound. TikTok creators lip-synced to it with dramatic zoom-ins. Meme pages slapped it on pictures of failed baking recipes and ruined outfits. Fans used it in arguments for no reason. It became bigger than the story itself. It became a cultural moment. Then came the emotional shift. Sympathy began creeping in. People noticed how tired, stressed, and defeated Chrisean looked in her latest videos. Even critics paused long enough to say, "Damn, she going through it." For a moment, the internet softened. But the moment was brief, because the drama kept pouring in like rain through a broken ceiling. By evening, the storyline had expanded so far beyond the original event that nobody even knew what they were arguing anymore. It was no longer about police, intentions, or plans. It was about confusion, speculation, ego, tension, and a domino effect of misunderstandings that had taken on a life of its own, and with everyone demanding answers. One question remained louder than all the chaos combined. How far would the fallout go, and what would the aftermath do to everyone involved? By the time the dust began to settle, the internet looked like a battlefield made of screenshots, screen recordings, and half-finished reaction videos. No one knew what was real, what was alleged, or what was accidentally misinterpreted but one thing was certain: the fallout was larger than the event itself. Chrisean couldn't sneeze without someone attaching it to the Ronny Doe storyline. Blueface couldn't blink without someone calling it a response. And every time the police statement resurfaced, the chaos reignited like it had been plugged into fresh electricity. The emotional toll started showing on everyone involved. You could see it in Chrisean's quieter tone, the heaviness in her face, the exhaustion in her posture. Whether her alleged plan was misunderstood, judged, or blown out of proportion, she clearly felt the weight of the moment. Supporters rallied behind her more fiercely, saying she never gets treated with grace, that the public loves to twist narratives against her, and that she's navigating an overwhelming storm without a manual. Others insisted she created the mess herself. But regardless of the angle, every comment proved the same point. This situation had swallowed the timeline whole. Meanwhile, Bino's behavior shifted too. As backlash grew, he toggled between doubling down and stepping back, creating a confusing pattern that left viewers unsure whether he regretted speaking or felt empowered by the attention. His cryptic posts only added fuel, making him look like he was enjoying the speculation more than the truth. Supporters argued he was simply being honest, even if his take was only an alleged version. Critics argued he stirred chaos just to watch it explode. And the middle crowd? They just wanted more details. Blueface, unsurprisingly, stayed on brand. He switched between laughing, posting random selfies, shading people indirectly, and disappearing altogether. His reactions or lack thereof only intensified the mystery. Each time he posted a laughing emoji, the timeline treated it like he pressed a detonator. People debated whether he was mocking the situation, distancing himself from it, or simply trolling the entire universe. His silence filled with memes, edits, and theories that made the situation even more unpredictable. As the story spread further, family members, distant friends, and random associates began chiming in. Some defended Chrisean, saying she was being unfairly targeted. Others hinted she'd been emotional for weeks, suggesting deeper struggles. A few claimed they weren't surprised the plan went sideways, even though most of them didn't even know what the alleged plan was. The commentary became so widespread that even community Facebook groups were discussing it like it was a local town emergency. Then came the blogs, the final and most chaotic phase. They began posting exclusive sources, insider tips, and direct conversations, none of which were verified or consistent. One blog claimed police misunderstood her intentions. Another said the entire move was planned differently. Another said she was pressured by external voices. None of them matched. All of them went viral. Because when drama hits a certain scale, accuracy becomes optional and engagement becomes the goal. The memes continued evolving too. People turned the plan went sideways quote into motivational posters, breakup jokes, failed cooking memes, and even student assignment templates. TikTok invented a whole trend where creators reenacted situations in their life that weren't meant to go that way, using dramatic music and exaggerated facial expressions. What began as a serious moment had officially transformed into cultural entertainment. Yet, beneath all the jokes, the emotional truth lingered. Chrisean was overwhelmed. Whether she created the pressure, inherited it, or stumbled into it, she was carrying the weight alone and in front of millions. Her voice cracked in a later video. Her eyes looked glassy. She talked about trust, stress, and feeling misunderstood. You could see the ripple of empathy across the comments for a moment. Before the noise swallowed it again, police, for their part, stayed consistent with their alleged take that the plan didn't unfold as intended. They didn't elaborate. They didn't accuse. They didn't clear up anything. They simply stuck to the phrase that started the digital hurricane. And that silence kept the entire story suspended in midair. Without clarity, the public created its own conclusions. Without details, every theory gained momentum. Without closure, the saga stayed alive. But the biggest shift came when fans started discussing long-term consequences. They questioned how the scandal might affect Chrisean's public image, her legal situations, her co-parenting realities, and her relationships with everyone involved. Some said it would damage her reputation. Others said it would earn her sympathy. Others said this controversy would be forgotten in a week because new chaos is always around the corner. And honestly, the internet has proven all three theories can be true at once. Then came the turning point the moment people realized something deeper was happening. This entire situation showed how quickly narratives get misunderstood, magnified, and manipulated in the age of viral attention. It revealed how fragile reputations are when millions of strangers are interpreting one story with no complete information. It showed how thin the line is between public entertainment and real emotional pain. Even trolls paused long enough to admit it was exhausting to watch unfold. As the day closed, the dust didn't settle, it simply floated, waiting for the next explosion. Every platform was on standby. Every creator was ready to refresh. Every fanbase was in attack mode. Nobody trusted the story. Nobody trusted updates. Nobody trusted screenshots. But everybody wanted the next chapter, because in the world of Chrisean, Blueface, and anyone orbiting their drama magnet universe, nothing ends neatly. Nothing fades quietly. Every scandal is a cliffhanger. And when police claim a plan went sideways, the sequel writes itself. And if you made it all the way through this emotional disaster zone, then congratulations, you officially survived one of the messiest internet storylines of the year. You didn't just watch a scandal. You navigated a full-blown digital tornado, complete with alleged police statements, sideways plans, timeline explosions, TikTok detectives, Blueface emojis, and the kind of confusion that makes grown adults question reality. You deserve a standing ovation, a snack, and maybe a therapist. But before you leave, smash that like button like you're trying to knock the Ronny Doe storyline back into place. Hit it like your Wi-Fi depends on it. Hit it like you're tired of the chaos but addicted to it anyway. Drop your theories in the comments, because I know your brain is buzzing after all this. Do you think the plan actually went sideways? Did police exaggerate? Did the internet blow things up? Was this a misunderstanding, a communication meltdown, or just classic Chrisean universe chaos? Whatever your angle is, wild, logical, delusional, or spiritual, let me hear it. This comment section is about to look like a courtroom, a comedy club, and a group therapy session all at once. Don't forget to subscribe. Because here on Fame Ripple, scandals don't knock, they crash through the door, flip the couch, and live stream themselves. We catch every meltdown, every alleged truth, every shady caption, and every police quote before the blogs even wake up. If someone cries, rants, slips up, or accidentally hits post, we're already screen recording it. Turn on notifications like your timeline is counting on you, because the next plot twist is already brewing. Another twist is loading. Another live is warming up. Another alleged storyline is ready to explode. This is Fame Ripple, signing off until the next shockwave hits the internet.